What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Trinity Road Tape. It has been a minute, actually, since we've done one of these. Today we are looking at some zone coverage from NC State, which has been a bit of a sticking point for this defense this year. This is from the Notre Dame game. What was that? 36-7 loss to NC State. Actually, the defense played relatively. It was productive for a good chunk of it, but one thing that's clear when you watch the game, even if you're not watching tape, you're not going back and watching it, right? One thing that you can see is you can see big holes in the zone coverage, right? You can see big throwing windows, and CJ Carr, who's a good quarterback, really exploited these. They didn't make it hard enough on him on plays like this one that we're going to look at, and this is the kind of thing I think you want to see State improve on as it goes into a stretch where it's going to play some pretty good quarterbacks here. And so what we're going to look at here is actually a cover three structure against a sail concept. And State's going to end up having a guy extremely wide open here to the field side. And why does that happen, and how do you fix it? So first things first, what is the coverage? So you see you got one guy in the middle, right? One safety in the middle. The middle of the field is closed. They're going to play cover three out of this, right? So it's very, very common. You play middle of the field closed. Play a lot of cover three or cover one. And so this is kind of how that's going to lay out. So you got three zones at the top. That's why it's called cover three. All right, so you got your two corners here that are playing a top third, and then this middle safety. And then you got your flat player over here. You got your flat player over here. And then you got your hook curl player here, your hook curl player here. And basically that is how the coverage looks. If you've ever played Madden, you've seen this on the play calling sheet. Right? It's pretty simplistic. Looks like a tight thirds look at the top over there, so it looks like he's playing man basically, unless that guy runs underneath and then he's gonna bail, and that's what I think that is. But that's not even the side of the play that we're gonna look at here, so not super important. But that's the structure. And when you play zone like this, right, you create math problems really as an offense. So as you can see here, there's two levels to the zone, right? The three at the top and the four underneath. So two levels, a lot of zone beating passing concepts are three level route concepts, which is what sail is. And so you hear the term, right, take what the defense gives you. Well, if you run the go route and sail, and it takes the corner out of the play, and then the flat player underneath covers a second level route, you dump the ball off to the running back, right? Three is more than two, so in theory, somebody's open somewhere. Now, that's a gross oversimplification, but it is the theory behind it. And so, as a zone, you want to play these things high to low, right? Sometimes you'll hear the term no cover zone, which is the area in front of the line of scrimmage to a certain depth that you're not going to cover those receivers. You're going to take away the higher level routes, and you're going to rally and tackle on the lower level routes. And that is the base philosophy behind this. So if we accelerate this a little bit and we take a look at what a sail concept is, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So this guy runs a straight go route. This guy is going to run a flag route or a corner, could be, or whatever you want to, however you want to try and design this. So you're going to have that. And then the back over here is going to run a flat route. So this guy right here has the deep third as the corner. When this receiver goes vertical, he carries him. This guy has the flat, so he's going to widen to his flat responsibility, and then he's going to end up in between these two routes. This is how sail works. So the quarterback is reading his depth, right? It's called high-low read. So he's reading his depth. If this guy in the flat climbs and allows space back here, you can go over his head and hit this flag route here. If he gets a lot of depth, you hit the running back. So that's the base philosophy behind sail and really a lot of different stuff. And so that's what Notre Dame is going to run here. So let's take a look at how this plays out now. Keeping an eye on that flat defender, right? Watch what he does as these routes develop. So you get the snap, right? He's going to widen to his zone right there. All right, the vertical underneath. See the vertical at the bottom's carrying the corner. You're going to get your route right here and watch him. All right, you see him climb toward the running back. His eyes are on the running back in the flat. He's going to climb toward the running back right there. Right? He needs to get more depth on this, and you end up seeing this, right? You end up seeing this picture. Look how open this guy ends up being. I mean, you got the top of the zone up here. Obviously, it has to run with that vertical, but you got a lot of yards between this flat defender and this. Right? This is how so many passing concepts are built. You just have to have like more awareness of what's going on and what you're getting, right? What you might be seeing from the offense. And if you can gain more depth here and you can squeeze this throwing window, right? So if this guy is, let's say he's here, right? If he's, I don't know how far back you want to be, right? But if he's back here, he can squeeze that window more, and you force that dump off to the running back out here. Well, as soon as that ball comes out, he can crash, right? You got a vice over here, and you can minimize the gain from that. And that's really what you want to see there. But because he climbs up there, you see where he's at? You see how he's coming forward at the running back before the running back even has the ball? Or before the quarterback has even really thrown the ball. And look at the space it creates, the clear read for the quarterback. So if you're going to be an underneath zone defender, you got to get more depth than this. And this has been a consistent thing for State that I'm looking at. They just had a bye week. That's a good thing. A lot of injury-based attrition in the secondary. And this is what we're looking at here to see if we can maybe figure out how to force more checkdowns, more underneath throws, and give up fewer explosives in the passing game, right? Because this is an explosive play, obviously. So, that's kind of something that's been going on this year. Interested to see if State can remedy that going forward, um, and improve as a passing defense.